Do you earn irregular income as a freelancer in Nigeria? Some weeks you're balling, other weeks you're checking your airtime balance. You're not alone. Managing money on a low or unstable income is tough, but not impossible. Here's how you can take control of your finances, even if you're just starting out. Step 1. Track your total income. Whether it's from gigs, side jobs, or remote contracts, write it all down. Use a notebook, Google Sheet, or a free budgeting app. Just make sure you see every naira coming in. Step 2. Separate business and personal income. Don't mix the money you use for client jobs with the money you spend at ShopRite. Open 2 separate accounts or digital wallets. One for work, one for life. Step 3. Write out your monthly expenses. List your essentials like rent, food, transport, airtime, electricity, and subscriptions. When you see where your money is going, you can make better choices. Step 4. Now that you know how much you earn and spend, it's time to build a smart spending plan. That's where the 50-30-20 rule comes in. And trust me, it works even for low-income earners. In the next part, I'll break it down step by step.
Now that you know how much money you're making as well as how you're going to track your expenses, we can kind of talk about those 3 categories. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the 3 categories just because they are pretty simple to understand: your needs, your wants, and your savings and investments. But let's go into it anyways. The biggest category, and the first one we're going to talk about, is your needs. So your needs are things you need to survive on. These are your utilities, your housing, your clothes, and your food. I mean, it's the things that you can't live without. The next category that we need to talk about makes up 30% of your budget, and that is your wants. So your wants will improve life, however, they're not really necessary in order to live. So your wants are anything from that new pair of shoes to maybe a puppy to, I don't know, dinner out every night or something like that. I don't know. I don't do that, but maybe you guys can budget for it. A lot of people are afraid of budgeting because they're worried that if they budget, that they won't be able to enjoy life and that they're always going to be worried about penny pinching. However, that's just not the case. Look at this 50-30-20 rule. 30% of your take-home pay can be used towards your wants. That is a big chunk of your take-home pay. I know for me personally, I don't use 30% of my take-home pay towards my wants. That would be way more than I would ever need. I actually use about 20% of my take-home pay towards my wants, and so I'm able to use that extra 10% and put that towards my savings and investments, which brings us to the last category, your savings and investments. So although this is the smallest of the 3 categories, it's going to make the biggest impact on your financial future as well as a big impact on your happiness in the future as well. So you want to make sure to at least put in that 20% into your savings and investments. Otherwise, you're putting yourself into a bad position in the future where you're going to have to try to make up that money late in life. Whereas if you can follow this budget early on in life, even though it's a small percentage, 20% of your take-home pay, that's not that much. It can put you in a great position later on in life. And I can promise you, it will put you in a better position following even a basic budget such as the 50-30-20 rule than if you were trying to do it by yourself without trying to track your expenses and just say, hey, whatever's left at the end of the month, that's what I'll save. If that's the strategy you're currently using, I highly recommend that you follow maybe not even the 50-30-20 rule, but just a budget.